So this is the second hostel we're in where are we? The Azores. Okay, so our first day waking up in the Azores, the plan was to go hiking and see the sights over by Sete Cidades. But when we got there, it was freezing cold and raining and windy. It wasn't freezing cold, but it was windy and wet, and it was cold. We got out on the way up. We got out. We looked at the sights. It was really overcast and windy, and we finally got to where we wanted to go. And we got out of the car, and it was super windy and wet. And we're out for a few minutes, and we're like, oh, you want to do something else? And so we decided not to do that today and try to go back and do that the next day. So instead of doing that, we decided, I believe, to go to Mosteiros, which is on the west coast.
Well, before we got there, we did go we had gone up the mountain and we went down the mountain, and we did go to the town.
Oh yeah.
That if we had gone on the hike, you would have seen this lake plus like 3 other lakes pretty clearly, and the little town. So we actually just went down into the town.
Yeah, the town was Sete Cidades, down in the little valley.
Yeah, and then from there we did just keep driving to, what's that town?
Mosteiros.
Mm-hmm. Quaint little town. We literally like walked the whole town, like from the town center down neighborhood streets out to the coast, and then just walked along the coast in this big circle all the way around the coast and then back to city center, and it was beautiful. Black lava coasts and then beaches. So I think we said we better go to the beach. We're on this island, so it was like the only beach that we went to, this black sand pebble beach. Water was cold. So it was peaceful and beautiful walking around. And so then when we were done walking, we walked back to town center, to the main plaza, and there's a cute little bar restaurant there that locals were eating lunch at too. So we sat down there and had a great lunch. We were both hungry, and it was cheap, super affordable.
It was like $15. We both had a little meal, and I think you had 2 glasses of wine and like appetizer or something.
Yeah. So, and then we kept going. We just kept driving.
Yeah, we changed our plans. I don't remember the direction. I think we drove along the north coast to Riviera Grande, and then we're going to go down to Furnace to see some more hot springs.
Yeah, all along the drive, like everywhere you go, and bordering farms, even hydrangeas are used, and it's just so beautiful. Along the way, we found a tea plantation, which you had already known about, and we didn't even mean to, but we're driving, and like, oh wait, I think that's a tea plantation. So we stopped and walked around that and had a cup of tea. and then just kept on driving, and we drove to Furnace. There's a national park or a state park, I'm not sure what they call it, that has some natural hot springs and lots of, like, a botanical garden. We got there though right as it was closing, so we couldn't get into that one, but we then walked to this other one, which actually was really great. It had how many pools? Like 6?
4 or 5,
Yeah.
maybe 6, yeah. Not a lot.
Pools. So there was a lot of people, but they're spread out, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, you could just get in one pool and then hop into another one, hop into another one. And they all were a little bit different temperature. Some had little waterfalls in them. Some had big waterfalls. Some were still. But it was pretty neat.
It was relaxing.
Yeah.
We'd walked a lot that day, so it was nice. After the hot springs, we just kept driving again. We came to the next town was that Villa?
I think we got to the lake next. Lake Fogo.
Oh yeah, the Fogo Lake, Lago de Fogo. We were driving past it, and I saw this cathedral on the side of the road in the lake. It was beautiful. I was trying to take pictures from the car, and I didn't even realize we're actually driving to it. And so we got to go to this. I mean, I don't know how old it had to have been. It looks like, I don't know, centuries, but to me it looks like 1300 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I just love old things. Couldn't go in. It looked like at one point they did tours, but we couldn't go in. But
Yeah, it wasn't open when we were there. For sure.
it was neat. And then we did keep driving. I think that's when we went to this blue and white church.
Yeah, and then we drove down to Francovilla.
Villa de Franco.
Villa de Franca, something like that. And to a church there. I don't remember the name of the church. I'll put it up somewhere, but it was neat. It was just this little church up on the hill with lots of mosaic work. I think it had 12 levels they had to go up. On each level had its own little mosaic telling the life of Jesus.
Which I've learned going in all the cathedrals in Portugal, that's typical on all the walls. They have like the 12, and then they have Roman numerals, and it's like the 12 pictures of the life of Jesus up to his crucifixion. So this was a very unique way of portraying those same things. We went into town after we saw the church. We looked up on our phones for some restaurants and picked one and walked down and sat down on the patio. And just as we sat down, like a storm started rolling in. There also was this huge tour group from like multiple countries. I heard Dutch and English and German and British English and American. They had been sitting outside eating, and everybody just had to move in, and the restaurant was so small. But it was really fun. It was like just this family atmosphere, and so many people, like locals or tourists, had kept trying to come to the restaurant. Like it was a popular spot, but it was like too full.
It was really good. I got to try blood sausage there. It was tasty.
If you like blood sausage. Let's see, we had steak that was okay, and potatoes. They serve potatoes and rice. That's with every meal. So it was fun. The town was decorated for the local festas, like religious holidays that were going on. So pretty much in every town that we went through, there was some sort of celebration that was going to be happening or happening, and so there was beautiful decorations everywhere. And I think after that, did we just go home?
Yeah, that was about it. It was late.
Mm-hmm.
don't even remember where we parked, but we had to walk back to our car.
And it was dark.
And then, yeah, we just went home. It was like,
And that's when we saw the lights had lit up for the party. It was pretty. It's like Christmas. You drove home. Yep.
Yep.
And that was
day 3.
three in Portugal.